The Exec-Tag Arena is ready to go for the Florida Gators home opener in 2018. Florida, off a tough night in Tallahassee on Tuesday, comes back home with the Rowdy Reptiles, looking to put away Charleston Southern. I'm TJ Reeves along with Mark Wise. Good to be with you, Coach. And what are we looking for Florida trying to bounce back?
Well, TJ, Florida only scored 20 points in the first half against FSU, so I think it starts on the offensive end. Better execution coupled with better shot selection should provide the Gators with a quicker start.
Well, that's the idea here tonight. A Florida team that has a lot of anticipation on this season under head coach Mike White, and we are already ready to go. Starters ready to get out to the center circle with the Gators looking to get the bad taste of Tuesday out of their mouth against a Charleston Southern team that won easily against an NAIA school back on Tuesday night, but obviously facing much stiffer competition.
For Charleston Southern took 42 three balls in that game, making 16.
Expected in the air a bunch, and we're underway right away, and Florida controls the opening tap. The Gators with Jalen Hudson getting the ball to Kayvon Allen, and Charleston Southern on a takeaway right away for the Buccaneers.
I like the unselfish play, but a turnover nonetheless in the first possession.
Buccaneers with Christian Keeling, their best player, out front. Keeling gets that return pass on their first possession and a turnover as well for Charleston Southern. And that Gator defense is something that we will look for early on here in terms of intensity.
One of the things that Mike White told me today at shoot-around is he expects a lot of different looks from the Buccaneers defensively. Here they are picking up 94 feet, man-to-man.
Well, the Gators will bring it up with Andrew Nemhard, his second game in a Florida jersey, starting as a true freshman back on Tuesday evening. Gators looking for that first hoop. Give the crowd here in Gainesville on a Friday night something to cheer about with the crowd in the game early. Allen was scoreless Tuesday, pops and hits right away tonight.
That's a good sign for Allen and for Florida. Step back jumper.
11-point per game score in his career, scoreless back on Tuesday. Buccaneers launching that three right on cue, Mark Wise, and that's Travis McConaughey, their best shooter, putting them in front.
Two defenders for Florida get confused on who was supposed to close out McConaughey. He makes them pay.
Javaris Harris dribbles down into the low block. Florida works the perimeter here, trailing by one early. Nemhard to the hoop, unable to get it to go. And a tie-up, and then the players get together underneath.
That's one Nemhard's got to make. Clear path to the basket. Stone came crashing in.
And we saw him a couple of times in the Florida State game the other night not be able to finish when he got to the rim. Jalen Hudson will already take a seat a minute and a half into this game, and Florida will pick up with some pressure.
And I think the reason for that quick hook is the defensive end. Mike White is going to demand more from his team than what they gave in the second half in Tallahassee on Tuesday night.
These Buccaneers with an easy win in their opener out of the Big South Conference. Shot clock works down to 10. McConaughey had it stripped. Florida hustles the other way with Allen. Nice move for the hoop.
Turnover on one end leads to some easy points on the other.
Gators with DeAndre Ballard in, bothering Charleston Southern in the backcourt.
This is what Florida ran the other night, a little three-quarter 1-2-2. They drop back man-to-man.
Buccaneers with Keeling. He had it almost stripped. It is stripped. Florida runs again. Ballard. Nice look. Nemhard can't finish again. And Charleston Southern the rebound.
See, that's just a hope shot by Nemhard, the young freshman. He's going to learn to go up with both hands.
Charleston Southern throws it away again for a turnover, so some early jitters. And we'll take a look again at Florida in transition.
Again, the quick hands of Allen, creating the turnover, finding the dribble. Watch this finish, up and under, but he keeps his eyes focused on the prize. That's a good steal and conversion on the other end. And here's another change of defense. Charleston Southern 1-3-1.
Buccaneers working in that half court. Cross-court pass and a three-ball on the way, no good from Keith Stone, and a foul on the rebound on the Buccaneers as Kevarius Hayes was battling underneath.
One of the beauties of having a 6'5" point guard is that he can see over the zone.
For the Gators, they'll inbound here with an early lead. Good trigger in, and Kevon Allen scores again. So after not getting on the board Tuesday, he's got all the points right now at 6'5". Charleston Southern breaks pressure, and a foul, the first foul of the game on the Gators.
Let's go back to the out-under play. Watch the little ball fake that Nembhard does to make McConaughey bite, and that leaves Allen open on the weak side. That's a nice play by the freshman. Nice awareness by Allen for the finish.
Talk all the time about little things that lead to big things, and the layup. Gators go back to the bench here in the first 3 minutes of this one. Florida's never lost a game to a Big South team, 14-0 all time. The last Big South opponent they played was in 2017. A victory over Gardner-Webb. 10 on the shot clock for Keeling. Lazander. Duncan Lazander. Out front, McConaughey had to hoist a three with one on the shot clock, and Florida clears. Good half-court defense by Mike White's team. This is Mike Okaru into the game out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Good dribble penetration. Extra pass. Stone down the baseline. Could not finish, but was fouled. Make sure that Hayes is all right tumbling to the floor.
Great ball reversal, ball movement. Had Charleston Southern in a closeout situation. Watch as the ball hops. First the right side of the floor. Ballard with the ball fake to the corner, which allows Stone the path to drive and draw the foul.
Stone to the foul line. He had 6 points in the opening game Tuesday night. A 72% free throw shooter in his career, cannot make the first. Well, Mike White said to us earlier this afternoon about mindset, about culture, about being mentally tough. What do you sense here? I know we're very early.
Well, again, I think he's going to have a quick hook tonight. And pulling Hudson early is sending a message, not only to Hudson, but everybody else on the bench. Hey, this is the standard that I want.
Stone got the second and will take a seat. Florida checking Keontae Johnson, a freshman, into the game.
Now here's a different look by Florida. They're denying the inbound.
Picking up full court, and there's a steal, and a great look underneath. Oh, what a pass by Allen, and
Now this is Florida answering their head coach's call for the last 2 or 3 days in practice. He wanted to see more defensively. Again, it's Allen just creating enough of a steal. And how about that nifty little assist to Ballard, who came off and really was one of the bright spots in the Tuesday night blowout at FSU.
He had 13 the other night, converts the three-point play, and you look up, and Florida's run off 8 points in a row. Buccaneers again against that full court pressure. Florida backs off now. Trying for the steal was Okaru, and picks up the foul. And that's going to give us, it actually will not as of yet, but Charleston Southern will inbound here after the Gators foul, which is their second team foul of this opening half. And as Mark mentioned, the Buccaneers won easily in their opening game, scoring 100 points against Columbia International, an NAIA school. Out front, Lazander launches for three. No. Rebound, battle for, Florida has it. 3-on-3 hustle. They leave it for Okaru, and his three is nowhere close.
Wide open. It's a nice find by Johnson in transition. Unselfish play.
A strip here by Florida and Ballard. And Florida will now work it in the front court.
Nice play by Ballard, but you don't want to give it up to your big guy in backcourt. Did you see Hayes' reaction? Like, why are you throwing this to me?
They kick out front to Johnson, and Keontae Johnson cannot connect. The ball loose and out of bounds and off of Florida, and that will give us our first officials timeout. 8 straight points for the Gators. We go out taking a look at Kevon Allen as the Gators are impressive early on SEC Network. little tardy for Halloween, but the Gators have rolled off 8 in a row. TJ Reeves and Mark Wise with you courtside. Good to be with you, Coach, here for this matchup. And so far, the Gator defense early on the story.
Well, when we talked to Mike White this afternoon, he said that he wanted his team to set the tone defensively. And that's exactly what they've done here in the early going, especially with the quick hands and the quick start of Kayvon Allen, who not only did a little thievery, but was able to finish after his own steal. But it didn't stop there. Again, the swipe leads to the transition opportunity. And because of the way Florida has set the tone defensively, they've been able to get out to a quicker start, a much quicker start than they did Tuesday night on the road in Tallahassee.
The Gators pick up again, three-quarter court press. That's dictated some of this tempo so far. As Florida's Kayvon Allen with the early 6 points and the assist. It's still an 8-0 run out of the timeout. Charleston Southern works it around. 10 on the shot clock. This is Dontrell Schuler to the hoop, and he got it to go off the window. A young man that's just a freshman with a nice move.
What a great finish by Schuler. Late shot clock awareness, challenged look, and great finish.
Gators have Allen triggering things, as they also have checked Isaiah Stokes, a big body in. And now down low, a nice look at Ballard to finish.
A unique way to score in the paint, and this is a Gator team that can find points in the paint, but it's going to have to be in unconventional ways. They really don't have that player that you can throw it down to block with any kind of regularity.
Buccaneers again work that clock. Keeling unable to get it to go. And the backside rebound for a fresh 30 for Charleston Southern. Keeling hard to the hoop. He's in the tall timber.
The third shot opportunity for the Bucks, working the offensive glass.
Out front, McConaughey, preseason all-conference player. And the rebound and a foul on Florida, I believe. Yes, sir, over the back.
I think this is Ballard who shoved McConaughey, being active on the offensive glass.
Speaking of active, that young man that we're looking at has been tremendously active early on here and sparked a Florida run.
He got off to a great start a year ago. He was double figures. I'm talking about Ballard. He was double figures 3 of the first 4 games and wasn't double figures any the rest of the season, and kind of got buried down on the bench. He got off to another good start this year with those 13 points at FSU. Now can he build on that?
Buccaneers with the reload. Keeling works around to Schuler. Florida's played much sharper man-to-man defense here in the early going of this one tonight in Gainesville. Glad you're with us on SEC Network. 4 on the shot clock. Keeling, step back. Will not go. And the battle for the rebound down to Florida.
Well, that's the strength of the freshman, Keontae Johnson.
Big body there on the inside. Stokes a head fake. And got that one to go down for the big fella.
Again, it's an unconventional way to have a little mid-range game.
And Charleston Southern a little out of control, and everybody better be careful.
Yeah, when Stokes falls on you, that's right. He cleared out about 4 photographers. Let's go back to this offensive. Here's take a look at the charge, and he wasn't set. He was inside the arc. That's a good call, easy call, and we'll put Schuler to the free throw line. There's Stokes. But I wanted to go back to the offensive end, where Florida ran a little pick and pop, but not at the arc, but in the mid-range area. And they can utilize Stokes in that role when they had their last offensive possession. Stokes is the screener, pops, but not to the arc in that mid-range game. Nice little ball fake and great deuce.
You and I have worked a lot of different games, TV, radio, the lost art of the mid-range jump shot, the 8 to 10 footer.
Well, the analytics tell us that it's somewhat not only a lost art, but it's going by the wayside in terms of how much bang do you get for your buck in the mid-range area.
Rather have you behind the arc going for it for 3.
I thought the other night, another bright spot, Stokes, not necessarily his production, but his minutes played. He played 14 minutes, and his conditioning is still coming along. Remember, he tore his ACL in high school, spent last year rehabbing and redshirting. But a big guy, when a big guy has a leg injury, it's doubly difficult for them to come back quicker because of the rehab that's required.
No doubt. Dontrell Schuler got the first of those 2 free throws. He had 9 in the opener for Charleston Southern Tuesday. And the Gators clear the rebound on the second foul shot missed. And Florida again going with some reserves at this stage. A message being sent to Jalen Hudson. We've not seen him, and the Gators turn it over as Keontae Johnson was trying to go to the hoop and lost it.
Yeah, there's no reason to drive from there. And there's Hudson coming back in. Let's see if the message is received.
Well, Mike White had an NCAA tournament team a year ago, but he obviously realizes there are certain things that are non-negotiable, as you coaches would say.
Here's a unique lineup. Florida has 4 freshmen on the floor with Jalen Hudson.
Buccaneers breaking pressure. Non-negotiable as in effort, as in guarding, being ready to play, all of those things. Game on Tuesday kind of drifted away from Florida as it wore on in Tallahassee. Out of the corner, a 3-ball no, and the rebound down to Florida. And Keontae Johnson. That was Lazander out of the corner, an excellent 3-point shooter for this Buccaneers team. The lead is 8, almost 8 minutes in. Good Friday night crowd with the Gators playing a home football game with South Carolina tomorrow. They're waiting for chances to roar here in the Exactech Arena. Floater on the baseline, no. Rebound down to Hudson. Nembhard for 3, no. And Charleston Southern denies a 3rd try.
Better effort, though. Good play by Hudson to follow his miss and set up his teammate. Wide open 3.
Buccaneers with Keeling. And he gets that one to go down. Christian Keeling was 2nd team All-Big South a year ago.
One of the things that we've seen early on with this Gator team, a lot of different guys can initiate the offense. It was slow in developing Tuesday night against FSU, a little quicker here today.
Nembhard out front, 10 on the shot clock. Florida in a bit of a lull here over the last 3 or 4 minutes. Nembhard give and go, and Charleston Southern can't save it on the inline, and that'll give us the under 12-minute timeout.
We've talked about defense and the reward. How about Pat Allard in the half court from the big fella? High-low action. Gators on top early.
UFC fans, this is the moment you truly all been waiting for.
Florida Gators up by 6. here early on in their home opener for the 2018-2019 season. During that last time out, your colleague on the radio, the Hall of Famer now, Mick Hubert, being honored in his 30th season with the Florida Gators, going into the Florida Sports Hall of Fame earlier this week. You were in the house for that night earlier this week.
Yeah, Wednesday night in Pensacola. What was kind of cool about that night is that Mick's 3 major sports analysts, we were all there. So I was there, Lee McGriff from football was there, and Nick Belmonte, who's been doing baseball with Mick for 30 years. We were all there. It was a special night for everybody, special night for Mick and Judy.
Congratulations, Mick Hubert. He wants a home run for the Florida Gators to get rolling here tonight, and the Gators can't get the ball in out of the timeout, so unable to beat the 5 count.
That's not good execution, yep.
That said it all right there if you saw that one. Buccaneers have been feisty so far in this first half. They led early 3-2, and Florida rolled off 8 straight points.
TJ, Florida 0 of 3 from beyond the arc. All 3 shots were really good shots.
Conoco can't get that one to go down. Nembhard clears it. Florida with Allen does not have numbers, but takes it anyway to the hole. The senior out of Little Rock is a different player tonight here in the Exactech Arena. Didn't score the other night in Tallahassee. Floater in the lane is good from Donterell Schuler.
And one of the things Nembhard will learn is bad gambles. He gambled not only once on Schuler, but twice. Schuler made him pay.
Almost halfway through this first half. Charleston Southern hanging around. Florida works the high post with Hayes. Big man looks for some help. Finds it in the form of Locke. Noah Locke lost his dribble. Now somebody's got to make something happen. It's Allen from deep. That's nowhere close, a boulder. And Charleston Southern looks to cut into the 6-point deficit. Cross-court pass, Schuler, nice move. Back to Keeling, left wing, no. And the rebound down to Florida.
I think Florida's players are so consumed with boxing out, nobody's jumping for rebounds. Locke's got to give the ball up much quicker. Way too many dribbles.
In the corner, Nembhard. Got it to go.
Now that's that let me dribble it around, fumble and find my teammate in the corner play.
And Florida will take it for their first tray of the night. Charleston Southern with the answer, won't go. Long rebound, and the Buccaneers track that down on the 50-50 ball. Keeling hit that jumper a moment ago. One of their top scorers. Team out of the Big South Conference, a league that has Winthrop and Radford. A steal. This is Allen all the way, contested, no call there, a clean block.
Wow, what a play by Keeling.
Buccaneers push the advantage 5-on-4 quickly. Schuler out of the corner, and that's good. 4-3.
Great decision by Keeling in transition on the kick out.
Well, the Gators are getting all they can handle at the moment from Charleston Southern, and a foul near midcourt. Mark Wise, what do we have here on the steal?
Here's again another piece of thievery by Allen, but watch Keeling from behind.
Mercy.
What a play. That leads to the run out. Here's another look. That is a clean block from behind. Big time play by Christian Keeling.
Charleston Southern Buccaneers also converting at the other end with the 3 balls. Schuler able to hit that one. Their coach, Barkley Radeball, 14 seasons, 2-time Coach of the Year in the Big South. He's got to be happy with his effort so far.
1-3-1 zone.
Carew back in the game. Finds DeAndre Ballard. Underneath, nice position, and a look for Hayes and a slam dunk.
The key to that whole play was the way Ballard led Hayes to the inside hand, away from the defender.
Gators trying to recover in the half-court defense. Enabled them to get back in the press and try to fluster the Bucks. Sean Price into the game, finds Schuler. That left wing 3 won't fall. Long rebound, 50-50 ball again, and Florida comes up with it with a Carew. Gators look to extend the 8-point lead, but there's a strip at midcourt, and Schuler got the foul, and the Buccaneers bench didn't like that call.
Again, it's been the defense for Florida that has sparked their offense here in the first half, but it was a wonderful pass by Ballard and the easy flush.
An 8-point lead for the Florida Gators here at home in Gainesville on a Friday night on SEC Network. Gator fans are encouraged to share a picture of themselves or a group of friends chomping on Twitter and or Instagram every day. Chomp, share it, then view it on chompstories.com. The Gators Nation will be able to see all the areas across the world where we chomp. Use that hashtag. Even Spider-Man might want a we chomp.
Of course, Kavarius Hayes' nickname is Spidey, so I think that's in honor of Hayes.
Only appropriate. The advantage is 8 for Florida. Charleston Southern has hung around in part with some hustle out, rebounding the Gators right now 11-9, and a body block foul out front on Timmy Sellers of the Buccaneers.
And CSU has started changing the way they are guarding the ball screens. They're being much more aggressive, coming out and trying to double. Here's a good look at the Buccaneer head man in his 14th season. Has won a couple of league titles, been to the NIT a couple of times.
Barkley Radaball has settled in with a program that's been solid. They're picked 5th in their league in the preseason. Gators on the reset here with 10 on the shot clock. Nembhard being bodied. Cross court open is Ballard. That will not go. Rattled around, and the Buccaneers save it.
And that's an area Ballard struggled in a year ago. He was just 5 for 32.
How was that not a walk? Loose ball, Florida out front. Ballard cannot finish. Boy, he was right at the rim, Mark Wise.
Now you've got to lay that one in. He got stuck in no man's land.
Ballard, great hustle with another steal, but he's out of bounds. So some helter-skelter play at both ends. You love the effort from Florida, but you've got to go ahead and convert.
The rule of thumb with dunking is you better be able to dunk.
You know about those rules?
No, this was one of my rules. If you're going to dunk, dunk.
Otherwise,
lay it in.
One of my rules was give it to someone else to dunk. Otherwise, I am laying it in. That's right. Buccaneers to inbound. They led early 3-2 in the game. Keeling, one of their best players, pops but cannot hit. Again, they get an offensive board. And that shot out of the corner, no good from Lysander. They get another attempt at it, and Lysander put that one in.
Well, this is an area of concern a year ago in rebound margin. Florida was in the negative department. I think this is a hold on Charleston Southern.
It is. And finish the point about rebounding because it's the case again tonight right now.
Well, this is an undersized team. I mean, they were undersized a year ago. They're a little bigger in the backcourt, but they don't really have that guy that plays above the rim. And as a consequence, blocking out becomes really fundamental, but part of blocking out is putting a body on a guy, but releasing and going and getting a rebound.
Gators will check Jalen Hudson back in. 1-and-1 situation for Mike Okaru. Okaru 57% in his career at the foul line, at 4 points of the opener with Florida State.
Yeah, he didn't go there a lot last year, just 30 times. One of the areas that he needs to improve in his sophomore year.
He extends the lead with 2 makes to 8 and will now take a seat. Again, the Buccaneers lead on the glass, to your point, at 15-9 at the moment. They're not exactly an oversized team, but the effort, the hustle, especially on the offensive boards.
Florida, after a series of rotations, is back to their starting 5.
They're back also to the three-quarter court press, trying to bother the Buccaneers. And it's a tripping foul on Hudson. Gators' 15th foul of this opening half. And Florida State, obviously a tremendous preseason top 25 talented team, but this was the area of the game on Tuesday where it began to get away from Florida with missed shots and not defending, etc. I'm not forecasting doom, I'm just pointing that out from Tuesday. Mike White wants his team to buckle down. Buccaneers moving around with McConaughey. He's had a quiet night so far. Ball batted, and it's out of bounds off Florida. McConaughey, to this point, with only the 1 3-pointer early on in the game.
It was good help defense by Spidey. Kavarius Hayes that time.
Take a look at McConaughey. Kid out of Jacksonville, one of several Florida players on this team. He's a senior. Same shot clock, 5 on it. McConaughey to the hoop. They got to put it up. I don't know that they know it. Now they do. The jumper is short, no good. It did reset the clock. And the rebound down to Florida. And a foul at midcourt as Jalen Hudson was trying to make a move.
Now, these are not good fouls this time by Buskey. One of the things that you learn as a younger player is when to challenge in transition. And especially after you've already put your opponent in the bonus, you don't want to challenge in the midcourt area. No player scores from midcourt unless you put him at the free throw line.
Jalen Hudson is right there at that foul line. A transfer from Virginia Tech. And his 1-and-1 free throw is no good. The rebound is out of bounds. Let's make sure everybody's okay. Bodies go spilling. And I believe that ball is off of Florida. It is the case. Charleston Southern's ball. And let's make sure that official Vladimir Voyard is okay amongst the photographers there on the baseline.
It can be dangerous down there.
Yes, take a look.
Bodies are going, officials backing up.
Protect the knees.
I love watching the photographers still shoot as bodies come flying at them.
Exactly right. Get the shot. Near steal, near midcourt. Nemhard almost came up with that one. It'll remain Charleston Southern's ball. And Florida in this three-quarter court press has bothered Charleston Southern when they've been able to jump in it.
The 3 out guys, Hudson, Allen, and Nemhard, have done a good job around that midcourt area.
McConaughey triggers that ball in. Schuler out front. He's got some points off the bench for the Buccaneers. Dontrell Schuler, and the ball loose off of Lysander and out of bounds. Some sloppy play at both ends right now, as Duncan Lysander was fortunate that that ball was off of Florida. Almost another turnover.
One of the things that Florida's defense is doing right now is it's got Charleston Southern out of its comfort zone from the offense that they like to run.
Buccaneers with 6 on the shot clock as we resume on this. Lysander sees it, hoists from about 40, and that's an air ball and a shot clock violation. Good half-court defense from Mike White's team. He's in his 4th season. And this Florida team trying to erase the bad taste as you look at the Rowdy Reptiles not far from us. Bad taste of a loss to your rival in the opener. He's won every home opener at Florida. Down the lane, Nembhard couldn't get it to go, couldn't finish.
That's like the third time he's missed with the left hand on the right-hand side. I know he can make those, but why not use your right hand?
Here's some Gator hustle on the defensive end. In transition, Allen leaves to Hudson. He pops, he hits.
I think he's the best player on Florida's team with his ability to take and make tough shots. And speaking of taking and making tough shots,
Christian Keeling with the finish, and he's going to get a chance at an and one. Florida had extended the lead to double figures. What do you see here, Coach?
Hudson, who passes up the three ball to take that tough deuce, makes the shot, but in transition, just as impressive, Christian Keeling against the two bigs off the window.
Keeling, an 80% free throw shooter, misses that one. Florida clears with Hudson in the front court. Gators work it around. Looking to build on that 8-point advantage. Hudson feeling it, but that one won't go from three. The ball is loose. And is it a foul on the floor? I believe it is on Florida, or was it simply just touched out of bounds, Mark Wise?
Yeah, just touched out of bounds. I'll tell you what, I am impressed with Hayes and his energy level tonight. He's not necessarily getting rebounds, but he's impacting rebounds.
Gators just 1 of 7 from deep. Charleston Southern not much better at 2 for 12. Neither team lining it up. Gators will go back to the press here late in this opening half. Come up on 4 minutes remaining. Lysander is in trouble. Off to Schuler. Kick in the corner to McConaughey. He cannot hit. They're now 2 for 13 from three. Meantime, Kayvon Allen pops and hits the three ball.
I think at times you have to give guys that can shoot a lot more rope. And right now, Allen feeling it. But remember, it started on the defensive end for him.
He's got 11 in the game. A near walk by Keeling. McConaughey a floater. He can't buy one with a $100 bill. Gators hustle in the front court. Look to build on the lead. Stone underneath. Good look at the layup. Keontae Johnson the finish and timeout. Charleston Southern. And for the Florida Gators, they've opened up a 13-point advantage. Take a look at Kayvon Allen. Pops and hits on SEC Network. Tonight at 11:30 Eastern, 10:30 Central, the SEC Now team is set to recap all the hoop games and talk more about the latest football news around the conference. No one covers the SEC like we do. You can see it all streaming live on the ESPN app. TJ Reeves, Mark Wise with you in Gainesville, Gators home opener, and we take a look at some SEC news and notes. And Mark Wise, we see the SEC very deep in the top 25 and a little more about how the season's open.
Kentucky and Florida struggled in their openers. I'm really curious about this last one. Tennessee and Auburn both rolled in their opening game, but Tennessee and Auburn this season go from being the hunters to being the hunted, to being the favorite in most nights, and they're going to get everybody's best shot, and that's a different scenario for any team. Now, also about what went on in Indianapolis the other day, contrary to popular opinion in Lexington, and I'm a Kentucky native, as you know.
Right.
Kentucky did not hand Duke the NCAA title on November 6th.
The rest of the season will be
There's
played.
going to be 4 more months to the season. Was it a low starting point? Of course it was. I'm kidding, because I actually go to Kentucky here in a couple of weeks.
Kayvon Allen off the turnover, trying to hit quickly, cannot. The ball loose, and Johnson picks it up for Florida. A 3-ball on the left wing, no. And the rebound down to the Buccaneers. That was Locke trying the 3 on the left wing.
I see a lot more hustle plays than I saw Tuesday night. The unselfishness, finding teammates. This Florida team can shoot.
Right now they lead by 13. They can also guard. They've held Charleston Southern to just 30% shooting in this first half. Schuler off balance, able to get that to go, and one. He was hit on the mid-range jumper.
Really impressed by the freshman Dontrell Schuler, who was a late signee coming out of high school because he got hurt late in his high school senior year, and people kind of got off of him. Charleston Southern, credit to them and their staff, stayed with him. He has a brother, Devontae, who's a sophomore at Ole Miss.
And Dontrell Schuler completes the 3-point play. We take a look again at Barclay Radebaugh, their head coach. They've dipped into Florida for some players as well previously, including McConaughey, the JUCO transfer out of Jacksonville. Now they pick up full court, and Florida having trouble getting the ball in. Gators break pressure with Keontae Johnson here at midcourt, showing the handles. Another freshman, Nemhard, out front. Stokes thought about it, almost turned it over. Locked to the floor, did turn it over, tried to get it back and does. Now 7 on the same shot clock. That's Locked for 3, no. And the rebound down to Charleston Southern, but a foul, a holding foul on Lysander of the Buccaneers.
These young freshmen for Florida are going to learn. You will get a much better look from a teammate than you will create off the bounce this early in your career. Everybody's so anxious. I got to catch it, put it on the deck, and see if I can create mine. Don't worry about that.
Move that ball.
Let the offense come back to you.
Keontae Johnson to the foul line at 4 points in the opener Tuesday night in 15 minutes. Young man from Norfolk, Virginia. And Mike White has gone with some young players tonight in this home opener in Gainesville. And Johnson got both free throws. Florida will bring DeAndre Ballard back in, who provided some early spark with us. Charleston Southern against full court pressure that we've seen a lot in this first half, and they've got problems getting the ball in and bringing it up again. Lysander on court to Keeling. Christian Keeling dribbles back out to the perimeter. Florida again played some good defense in this first half. In the corner, McConaughey. Pull up, pop, and that is nowhere close. He has been off the entire night since an early made 3. He's now 1 for 6. Nemhard looking down to the low block for Stokes. Talk about lost arts. He's trying to post up. Kick out for Ballard. That 3 won't fall. Nothing but Buccaneers on the boards.
Well, I like Stokes' ability to find teammates.
Run that offense out of the low block with a big body. Final minute and a half of the first half. Lysander hit nothing. And the ball out of bounds, though, off Florida.
Why are air balls so difficult to rebound? Because as a defender, there's a timing to a rebound. When the shot is taken, TJ, the first thing you do is find a body because you're anticipating the timing of hitting the rim. When the ball doesn't hit the rim, then it comes quicker, and that's why air balls are much more difficult for a defender to rebound than anything that comes off the rim.
Charleston Southern looks to reset here. Same shot clock. Healing. Spins. That's a tough shot. He can't get it to go, and Florida clears with Hayes.
I like the way Florida is challenging all looks.
This is Stone just inside the arc. That won't go, but a foul on the rebound on, I believe, Hayes. Let's see. No. Hayes thought it was on Charleston Southern, but it's actually on Kivaris Hayes.
And Peter Uzanis is talking it over.
One official may have had the
Hayes
other way.
was ready to go to the free throw line.
Hayes is like, wait a minute, I've got 1-and-1 coming here.
Here's the miss inside. There's no way that foul can be on Hayes.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, they've got to rethink this.
Now, what about this procedure here? I know you're tight with the officials these days, post-coaching days, so they're going over to talk about it. Will they utilize the monitor here to also take a look if they have a disagreement here on whether Hayes should be at the line?
No, you cannot change the call. If the call was a foul on Hayes, then that has to stay. They would look
can't
for
look at the
something
monitor.
else.
They can talk amongst themselves.
Right.
But obviously there's something they want to discuss here at the moment while we have the timeout. All right. So for the Gators, they've been better so far in this first half. Why have they been better in this first half tonight than what we saw, especially towards the end of the first half against Florida State Tuesday?
Well, they haven't shot the ball any better, but their defense has been better. Now there's a big gap between playing on the road at Florida State and playing Charleston Southern at home, and that's no disrespect to Charleston Southern, but the defense, the effort, the energy on the defensive end has been much better as we take a look at the Gators and their November schedule. Back home, you and I will have that game Wednesday night against LaSalle, who has a new coaching staff. Then it's on to the Bahamas for the battle for Atlantis, where they will play former Florida head coach Lon Kruger in Oklahoma. They will either get Stanford or Wisconsin, depending on if you win or lose, and then a third game in the battle for Atlantis. That could be Virginia on the other side, could be Butler, and Florida has North Florida back at home to close out the month of November.
Lot of teams getting a lot of games in early on in the year. That battle for Atlantis is always a phenomenal November tournament. You know, you've got that one in one part of the globe, and there we take a look at the full bracket mark-wise with Florida and Oklahoma playing basically the first game of the tournament.
Yeah, it's the noon start, the very first game in the tournament. Winner and losers come out to play Wisconsin and Stanford. There's a look at the other half of the bracket.
How about Butler and Virginia? Hello.
Well, and Florida could play Butler twice because they could play them in this tournament. That they also have the Bulldogs coming back to Gainesville, the last game of the preseason, or pre-conference, I should say, before league play starts. There is another non-conference game later in January, of course, the Big 12 SEC Challenge, where Florida will go on the road and play Jamie Dixon's TCU squad.
Well, as we resume, they were looking briefly at the monitor on the foul on Hayes. It was deemed a common foul, and it doesn't matter anyway for the free throw, as it's no good from Bowser just into the game. All right, Florida with the rock, and to the hoop and scoring is Ballard.
Notice Ballard didn't even fool around with dunking this time.
And the lead is 14, which is the largest of the first half. Buccaneers just want to get in that locker room at the moment. Schuler through three players. And that's what happens generally when you go at three guys.
And just kind of hope that ball up. Not really enough time for Florida to go 2 for 1 here unless they were to sprint. Here's a look at Schuler between bodies, but...
And Florida turns it over as we come back here trying to find Ballard on the baseline.
Well, they ended up going 2 for 1.
We're trying to go quickly.
I don't think that's the way you draw it up.
And I'm looking across the way at Mike White saying, come on, with his arms outstretched. We went too fast there. Buccaneers can basically hold it for one if they want, but they don't. And Keeling can't get it to go. He's been cold as well after an early make or two. Florida looks to extend the lead. They can hold it with the shot clock off here for the final one.
Don't settle, drive.
Nembhard. That's Hudson. Somebody's got to go. Nembhard will go. 2, and the layup will go at the first half horn.
Great awareness, timing by Nembhard. The young freshman, shot clock awareness, game clock awareness. Finishing on the left side with the right hand off the window.
Fantastic job by the Florida Gators to extend a 16-point lead. The Rowdies are happy here inside the Exact Tech Arena. A good first half for Florida. They've got to be pleased as we go to intermission on SEC Network.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Back at halftime here, and we had an opportunity with our analyst Mark Wise to find out more about this 2018-19 season from Coach Mike White and some of his upperclassmen.
We've got to be better defensively earlier in the season, for sure. We've got to get healthy, of course. We've got to maintain health. Our physicality has to be increased from a year ago. We've got to get some offensive production on the interior, not necessarily just from our fives, but we've got to find a way to score twos better and get to the foul line more.
There are a lot of messages. The most consistent is probably defensive effort, defensive plays. On offense, there's kind of a gray area. There's things that you can do that maybe he can't yell at you for, but defense is kind of black and white. So I'd say the main message is always on defense. It's either you're right or you're wrong. And so we work on that every day. We do show every single day. We do defensive slides every single day just to make sure that we're super polished on that end of the floor, because that gives you a chance to win every single night regardless of the outcome.
The most consistent message is stay in the stance, guard the ball, and defend. Many nights we might not make shots, but we can always defend well.
You know, all three of our seniors in Kavarius, Jalen and Kayvon have things that they're continuing to work on. But from an overall effort standpoint, trying to lead, trying to do what we ask, yeah, absolutely. Those three guys hopefully will have big senior years.
Super excited. This is the hardest schedule that I've ever played on the collegiate level at all. So I'm super excited. This is kind of what I came to college for, play big games like this. So I'm excited to kind of get things going.
I feel like, you know, playing like tougher teams from the start kind of get us more prepared for, you know, later seasons, because then it's more important to kind of like be on our game like now or as soon as we can to prepare for like big games upcoming. And then by the time we get to conference play, we'll had those tough matchups. We kind of know how we get when the game gets close or when we're tired, and we'll be able to play through that after experiencing it in the early season.
It is absolutely brutal, and when we get into conference play, it becomes even tougher. But it gives us the opportunity day in and day out to see where we are, to be exposed, if you will, by teams, because we will win or lose against these high-level teams. We'll find out a lot about ourselves, and then of course it leads to opportunities for potential postseason stuff. In the last couple of years, the computers liked us, and if we can win our share again, I'm sure the computers will like us again, which gives us a chance in March.
Gators looking forward to this upcoming 2018-19 season. We're at the half. We will come back and recap the first half in a moment on SEC Network. This little Gator fan's got to be happy. How about the Gators up by 16 at intermission here in the home opener Another Gator fan got the right idea, trying to tune Mark Wise out. We're all about it. And Coach, listen, all kidding aside, Florida's got to be pleased, up by 16 at the half. Most of it from the defensive end that spurred this team on.
And that's the end that's going to please Mike White the most. And when you take a look at the numbers from the first half, the thing that jumps out at me is the turnovers. Florida has forced 14 miscues by Charleston Southern. That has led to 13 points off turnovers. The Gators are plus 11 in that category. One of the big reasons why they are plus 16 in the big board.
And they were able to get into the full court press early on in this game, and it really bothered Charleston Southern, and it set the tempo.
Set the tone early, but how good was Kayvon Allen in the first 20 minutes? Because he was the catalyst that got this Gator team going. He did it in a variety of ways. He created his own offense with the step back, but he also had numerous steals, points off those turnovers that was, as we've talked about. He was crafty in the out-under situation. So Kayvon Allen getting it done on both ends of the floor for the Gators and Mike White in the first 20 minutes. Super effort by him.
And the donut on Tuesday, but 11 in this opening half of the senior. These little guys are getting hydrated up for half number 2, and we are as well on SEC Network. Stay with us. Gators took their largest lead right before halftime. It is 16 at 36-20. TJ Reeves, Mark Wise back with you at intermission. And Florida again in a home opener here tonight. Eager to get the bad taste out of their mouth after losing to their rival Florida State back on Tuesday evening. Did a lot of things well in that first half. One thing is they defended the 3, as Charleston Southern was only 2 of 15 in that opening half. And Florida again able to create offense off their defense.
Mike White talked to us about his culture, and for him that means defending. And I thought Florida much better, not only in terms of effort, but in terms of being effective defensively. The quick hands, the activity, the energy on the defensive end was able to score points off turnovers. And when you're struggling shooting the basketball, as the Gators are in the first 3 halves of this season, then let your defense help you out a little bit. That's exactly what Mike White got from his team in the first 20.
See the Gators head coach in the NCAA tournament the last 2 years. Again, you've got to temper the expectation at the beginning. This is a team with new players, young players. You're trying to figure things out in November.
Well, not only that, TJ, and you know this as well, this is the deepest team Mike White has had. You don't figure out your rotations after 1 game or 2 games. He may not even have a consistent rotation until league play. So you use this new lineup and the new depth that he has. It's going to take a while for them to gel as you take a look at the balance from Florida's classes.
9 of them are underclassmen. You do have the seniors like Hayes and Hudson, but mixed in there, Nimhard, along with Stokes, who we saw a little bit as a big body in that first half. Keontae Johnson, there's Nimhard, out of Canada, coming to the University of Florida. 80-degree weekend here in Florida in November. Not the same as Canada, by the way.
Let's see how Charleston Southern now responds here in the first 4 minutes. And it looks like they're going to start the half in a zone, a little 2-3.
Try to throw a little junk defense at Florida, see what happens on this opening possession.
This could benefit a guy like Hudson.
Gators gradually pulled away at the end of the first half. Nimhard recognizes, finds Allen, who had the 11 first half points. Return pass to him, and Allen can't get that one to go. So the zone successful in forcing the miss. These Buccaneers are picked 5th in the Big South Conference in the preseason. Conference that has the likes of Winthrop and Radford and High Point, where Tubby Smith now is in his first year. This is Keeling, nice wheel around move, but Florida was there defensively. That was Allen, I think, with the block again. Gators hustle with Stone, down low block to Hayes. That's a size advantage. Backs his man down, almost threw it away.
Yeah, just not comfortable taking one bounce and going up a little half up.
Allen flips it in the corner. Who wants the shot on this second possession? Allen does. And that three is good. Only the third three of the night for the Gators.
Kayvon Allen just has to keep shooting. He is a catch and shoot guy.
He's able to pop that one. Has 14 in the game to lead all scorers, and that's the largest lead at 19. Florida gradually pulling away. Schuler down to the low block. This is Ty Jones. Can't get that one to go, and Florida the nice block out. Ty Jones, a sophomore, has had foot injury problems. Didn't even play in the first half for the Buccaneers.
Didn't play in their opener.
Hudson hands here to the freshman. Nembhard looking. Back to Hudson. Fires and can't hit, but draws the foul. And that'll be 3 free throws coming up.
One of the things that Mike White would like to see from his senior Jalen Hudson is more consistency on both ends of the floor. I think Mike White knows that Hudson is a prolific scorer.
And he sent him a message if you're just joining us in the first half.
No question. Took him out early. Didn't like the way he closed out on a three-point shot. Now here's an area of Hudson's game that's kind of been a mystery to me, is his free throw shooting. He was 3 for 4 the other night. Missed his first free throw tonight, so he's 3 for 5, now 4 for 6. Last year, he was 67%. He should be an 80% plus free throw shooter.
Former player at Virginia Tech. I like what you said earlier, is that not only are you sending a message to Hudson, you're sending a message to the entire roster a minute into the game.
That's
when
right.
He goes out.
If you're willing to bench your leading scorer, you're willing to bench anybody.
Free throw is good. He got all 3 of those to go down, and the lead balloons to 22. It's a 12-0 run dating back to the first half. Buccaneers, you can see the expressions in the body languages. They're there to be blown out right now to start this second half. Keeling out front. Nobody seems to want to shoot. Jones down the lane. Put it up. No. Rebound Florida and Hayes. Nembhard hit and fouled and will shoot 2.
Florida tonight has had a lot more north-south in their offense than they did Tuesday night when they got in quicksand going east-west, meaning didn't attack the rim very much at all.
This young man, only a freshman, will get that free throw to go down.
Nembhard was a member of that silver medal under-18 team at the FIBA Americas this summer. 6 games, averaged 15.7 points per game and 8.8 assists per game.
He had 12 in the opener with Florida to go along with 4 assists. The lead is 24 points now. Only been 2 other Gator true freshmen that have had 10 points and 4 assists in their first game. Matt Walsh and Casey Hill are those 2 Gators, and this ball out of bounds, last touched by the Gators. So now Florida has extended the lead. And let's take a look, as we just mentioned, Casey Hill checking some things out there, Mark Wise.
He's got that new do on top. I got to talk to him about that.
Casey Hill's got more hair up there than you and I combined. Charleston Southern now with the shot clock winding down. Florida a little half-court trap. McConaughey can't get that 3 to go. That didn't hit the rim. It doesn't matter because Florida got the board. The run continues. Allen out front, almost threw it away. Work to Hayes, and a foul on Charleston Southern. Well, they have no answers right now at either end. This game really on the verge of becoming a laugher if they don't find some in a hurry.
Well, we mentioned Ty Jones getting back in the lineup tonight, didn't play in the opener. We also should mention that Philandrius Fleming Jr., a double-figure scorer, had 28 points in their exhibition against Georgia Southern, the 2017 Georgia 5A Player of the Year. He's out. They hope to have him back next week when they play South Carolina State and go to Middle Tennessee.
Gators were on the end line there with Nembhard. And for Charleston Southern, Fleming has a knee sprain, and I know that their coach, and there you take a look at Fleming, that Barkley Radebaugh said to us if this was a conference championship game or something like that, he might try to play, but they got a long season to go. The Buccaneers break pressure, but the Gators come up with the turnover. Nembhard with numbers. Hudson hard to the hole, misses but draws the foul.
So this is the kind of play I'm talking about. A year ago, Hudson, who just made 3 free throws, he was liable to go to the free throw line and miss both of these. Let's see if he's able to cash in, get on a roll with his free throw shooting.
Should be the easiest shot in basketball, uncontested, especially if you're a guard. And Jalen Hudson's first free throw is good. The run again is now up to 15-0 dating back into the first half. Fairly competitive first half for Charleston Southern out of the Big South. And Florida now getting to rest some players. They'll check Michael Carew back in. And Jalen Hudson, a senior, a fifth-year senior, buries both.
Good for Hudson.
Deontay Johnson checks in for Mike White's team, showing the depth. The lead, 26. And I don't know when Charleston Southern last had a point. It might have been Thursday. The Buccaneers on front court with Jones. Looks to post up. He's in trouble. Turned into a double team. They make the extra pass. Buskey had it blocked. Florida playing defense tonight. Okaru, he's hit. No call, but he put it in.
What a finish by Okaru. This is a delay of game warning on Florida for knocking the ball. But how about the effort on both ends of the floor as the Gators have gotten off to a fast start here in the second half thanks to Spidey with the block, and that leads to the Okaru finish on the other end as the Gators are flexing their muscles.
Florida Gators with a donut here in this second half, lead 48-20. Steve Seitz on the stats with me tonight says Charleston Southern last scored with 2:57 left in the first half. That's not good. Let's take a look, though, at these Buccaneers and where they might stack up in the Big South Conference, Mark Wise.
As we look around some news and notes, Radford and Winthrop are picked 1-2. How about my Sun Belt coaching friend Tubby Smith going back home to High Point, and then 2 new members in the Big South this season as Hampton moves over from the MEAC. USC Upstate comes from the Atlantic Sun.
Meantime, these Buccaneers got some talented players. They have run into far too much athleticism and length from Florida on the defensive end. A foul right in front of us. as we resume. Let's take a look at those Buccaneers, Mark Wise.
Now, when you take a look at the preseason poll, there are the Charleston Southern Buccaneers, picked 5th. We mentioned Radford and Winthrop, and you take a look at the new schools in terms of where they stack up. How about Hampton being the 3rd pick in the preseason poll in the Big South? Pretty impressive for the new member.
Gators are 14-0 all-time against the Big South. 5-0 all-time against this Charleston Southern program. Last win came 11 years ago. Scramble for the ball. Buccaneers trying to find any kind of offense right now. Laconico's 3, nowhere close. And Florida trying to get the rebound. A foul is going to be called on Charleston Southern, and Ty Jones banging there with Okaru. And Florida was not getting all of those loose balls earlier in the game. They're getting almost all of them now.
Watch this challenge by Hudson, though. This is the kind of effort Mike White wants from his senior. The pass out. This is going to be an open look, but look at Hudson go flying by. That's a great effort play.
The hustle has been evident tonight, and the shooting percentage continues to dip for Charleston Southern. They're down to 22% at this stage. It is still an 18-0 run dating back to the first half. They go back to the zone. Hudson off the skip pass. That's no good.
Boy, again, it's Stokes and his ability to find teammates.
Buccaneers looking for anybody that can put something up on the board to try to get them back in this game. Keeling can't hit. Limhard clears the long rebound. Does Florida want it? Hudson does. The lob, but they cannot finish. It was Keontae Johnson, couldn't quite handle it. Buskey in the corner, and that 3-ball is no good, and the Gators have numbers again. Limhard with Hudson, and Hudson cannot finish. Mike White's not going to be happy with that.
Wow, Wreck City game is broken out here.
Well, Charleston Southern right now, discombobulated, a big word on a Friday night. They are working on 8 minutes, going back to the first half, now 9 minutes without a point. Keeling off balance, and a foul on Florida underneath.
Bailout foul by Stokes. Charleston Southern, if there's one thing that Mike White is most pleased with his team about, I think, it's that Charleston Southern has not been able to get in a flow offensively. And I thought Tuesday night in Tallahassee, FSU took the ball wherever they wanted, executed wherever they wanted. Florida's defense had no impact on the game.
Florida State gradually pulled away and won a laugher, which was a bit of a surprise. Mike White called it a whipping that he hadn't been part of in coaching, at least as a head coach at Louisiana Tech and then at Florida. Wake-up call answered tonight by the Gators. Wholesale substitutions from both teams. And Lysander, what do we have? Offensive foul with the chicken wing, or what do we call 5 seconds?
I think just out on the sideline. Unforced mistake.
Another turnover from the Buccaneers in this opening half, or in this second half. They now have 15 in the game. Ballard, double team. Did he step out of bounds? He walked.
Yeah, there's just nothing good for you. Again, it's catch, put the ball on the deck against the zone. Catch and shoot, catch and ball fake, catch and rotate.
You're happy with the effort, but right now Florida's leaving some points out there. I know it's a 28-point lead. Schuler, that's Dontrell Schuler, who got a couple of hoops in the first half. Again, they're coming up on 10 minutes of clock time without a point. Price, step back, 3, no. Florida the rebound and a foul underneath, and it is actually Stokes over the back with the big body for Florida.
Yeah, he did push. That was an easy call.
And the Gators will sub in here for the first time tonight. Chase Johnson. Let's take a look at the foul, Mark Wise.
From behind, he just pushes out of the way. There's really no need. Stokes will learn. Once you've established that kind of position, good or bad, then just go elevate and get the ball.
Chase Johnson is a redshirt freshman, a medical redshirt from last year into the game. Lengthy 6'9" player in the low block. And the Buccaneers go to the hoop with Schuler, and that's Chase Johnson on the block, and it's last touched by Charleston Southern.
Johnson did not play Tuesday night in Tallahassee. Actually, only played his last game of the year a season ago was when he played 12 minutes against Stanford.
Well, the Buccaneers will take a timeout. We will take it with them. It is all Florida tonight in the Exactech Arena. They continue an 18-0 run. Whole lot of Florida Gators tonight with a 28-point advantage. Gives us a chance to tell you 2018-19 Florida's men's basketball single game tickets are on sale now. Make your plans now as Michigan State and Butler face the Gators in the Exactech Arena this season. For more information, visit FloridaGators.com. TJ Reeves, Mark Wise with you. Florida has extended a halftime lead to 28. That's got to make Mike White a happy guy. There's some new coaches out on the floor for both of these staffs.
One of the things near and dear to my heart, assistant coaches that get a chance at new places. Al Pinkins, last couple of years at Texas Tech, now the associate head coach for Florida. And on your right, Arlon Harper, who is 5th all-time in CSU scoring history. He's in his first year as an assistant coach. So new faces in both places.
For the Florida Gators, they look to build on the lead. Ballard's 3-ball no. Chase Johnson off the bench came down hard there. The Buccaneers look to get something offensively. That shot blocked again. It was Chase Johnson again, just back into this game. And some pushing and shoving after the play, and I think that's going to get Chase Johnson teed up. He had a little extra nudge for a Charleston Southern Buccaneer, Mark Wise.
Yeah, he was disappointed that he didn't get the foul call on the other end. Nonetheless, you cannot do that. I thought this was a good call. Here's the second block by Johnson. Ooh. Swipes that away.
A lot of contact here, including after the play, and the officials may elect to go over to the monitor here. There's a little nudge that started it from Lysander.
Here's the play I think that got everybody excited. Johnson going for the rebound.
That's mostly on his own, Coach.
Yeah, I don't see a lot there. I think he just kind of got off balance, and that's good to see Johnson pop back up, because of all guys who would not need another injury, it would be Chase Johnson.
You know, of all the things that I look forward to, it's trying to explain the flagrant 1 and flagrant 2 rules to the audience, and so that's what they're looking at over on the monitor about whether this is a flagrant foul, even though you and I don't believe there was a whole lot there, but they are going to take a look at it.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a foul on Charleston Southern and a flagrant 1 on Chase Johnson. All right, here's a thing for you hoop junkies. Flagrant 1, flagrant 2. Here's all you need to know. Flagrant 1 is excessive or unnecessary. Flagrant 2 is extreme and severe. Keep those two phrases in mind for each of those, and that will help clean that up a little bit.
The officials are meeting at midcourt. I'm not in that huddle. There was nothing severe or extreme on that play, so that can't be flagrant 2.
No, under no circumstances. I think this is going to be a flagrant 1 on Chase Johnson because it was excessive.
Foul was called on Chase Johnson, and a technical foul. And the officials will come over. Peter Jusinas will come over and tell Mark Wise what the exact call is here after they reviewed on the monitor. And it is a technical foul, and what else, Coach?
Yeah, dead ball technical because it occurred after the play. So Charleston Southern, because of the dead ball technical, the rule there is you get 2 shots and the ball. So Chase Johnson in a minute, I think, and Charleston Southern converted both. Chase Johnson, I think, TJ, in a minute of play, had 2 blocks and a dead ball technical.
A little busy on the stat sheet. And oh, by the way, that's the first points for the Buccaneers in over 10 minutes of clock time, going back to the 2:57 mark of the first half. It stops an 18-0 run for the moment. Not much has gone right for them offensively. Shooting now at 19%. Florida has defended and caused most of that. And there's a block off the bench by Hayes. But we have a foul as well. Who'd they get underneath?
I think this is on Hayes, and I think this is a good call by Peter Uzanis. Watch Hayes' hands come down, TJ. He goes up, but then they come down. That's a foul.
He did
not stay vertical.
Principle of verticality, right? What is with you tonight defending the officials? Keeling, free throw, no good.
It's November.
It is early.
Give me a little while.
This is a young man that averages 18 a game in his career. Keeling at 13 in their opener. He gets 1 out of 2 from the foul line, but only tonight 7 points in this basketball game.
He's had a hard time finding quality looks.
There you go. Davon Allen back in, leaves outside. The 3 ball is no good from Locke. Good hustle on the rebound. A save in front of the Gator bench. That was Hayes, the big fella. Ballard with a fresh 30. Florida in command, running the half-court offense. Led by 16 at the break. Ballard lost it on the way up. Good to reload here. Locke out of the corner. That 3 is good.
TJ, I firmly believe the way Locke shoots the ball. How about this play
steal
by Hayes?
The big fella with a steal. They have numbers. Locke finger roll. And the lead is 30. And back to the full court pressure. Locke with a 3 and then the finish.
I started to say, TJ, I firmly believe because Locke is such a good shooter, I think there'll be a game or 2 this year he will really impact winning.
Well, the impact right now being felt. A quick 5 points from Noah Locke. And the Florida Gators have opened up a 30-point advantage here on SEC Network. advantage is now 30, and the hustle from the big fella, the senior, is one of the big reasons why they've opened up this lead, Mark Wise.
Kavarius Hayes, relentless energy tonight. First with the save, which led to the lock 3-ball, and on the other end, Hayes impactful with the steal, the quick outlet pass to Locke with the finger roll finish. 5 straight points for Locke, courtesy of Mr. Hayes.
Charleston Southern free throws as we resume. I saw that finger roll from Noah Locke. You know, I'm old, you're not old. Does Noah Locke have a clue who George Gervin is and was with the finger roll?
He will have no idea who the Iceman is.
The Iceman made that finger roll famous when everybody had the short shorts. Free throw is good. Again, Charleston Southern still does not have a field goal going back to the 3-minute mark or thereabouts of the first half. Florida's defense has been outstanding. Some of this is the competition that you're playing out of the Big South, but Mark, this is dramatically better effort on the defensive end tonight as well.
Here's what I'm curious about. Mike White was very disappointed with the way his team played when they fell behind the other night. Now, can they play up like they are in this game?
3-ball off the back iron, no, from Akaru. Charleston Southern comes the other way. Husky slipped down. Buccaneers work against what has been a tough Gator defense. That shot was contested but went down.
Good finish, slicing through the defenders.
The junior from Augusta, Georgia, Christian Keeling with the hoop.
But he's really, I mentioned this earlier, he's had a hard time finding those kind of looks.
Nice look underneath. Florida will work that ball around against the zone. Emhard, the freshman, to Hudson, the senior. 3 won't go. We haven't seen McConico much in the second half. He's slated to come in here in a moment. He's been almost no factor offensively. That's one of their best players for the Buccaneers. They look to dump inside, and there's Hayes again, active, knocking it away and saving it. Florida will wait for help. Now Hayes fills, defender flops, and Hayes put it in and drew the foul. Reward the big fella.
And no question about it. When Hudson threw that pass, I thought, why are you throwing it to Hayes there? But somehow he gets this ball to go in. Goes to the free throw line for the and one. You never throw a big guy that kind of pass contested in transition. And yet Hayes makes the play.
I love the not rewarding the flop, which we need to see more of in college basketball. And meantime, Kavarius Hayes, a senior out of Live Oak. 5 points, 5 rebounds per game in his career. One of the guys that's going to be counted on for leadership. And the free throw pushes the lead back to 30 for Florida. And Hayes gets a well-deserved break.
Hayes is a great example of how you can impact winning without scoring.
Now looking across the way, Mike White with the jacket off, the look on his face, he still wants to see this team guard. They have guarded the daylights out of the Charleston Southern Buccaneers tonight. It was a competitive first half for about the first 15 minutes. Not so much since then. Keeling caught in the air. Jones's 3 is good. A rare 3-ball. Only their 3rd of the night. They made a couple of them early. They had missed at least 10 of them in a row until that 3-ball went down.
And that's news because Jones a year ago was just 2 of 11 from bonus land.
Gators work on it with the lead, and the baseline jumper good from Keith Stone.
2 weak areas of the 2-3 is the free throw line area and that short corner.
Very impressive performance from Florida in this one tonight at home. They were 12-4 in this building a year ago. Another takeaway. Return pass for Nembhard. Look at the extra passing by the Gators. Stone's 3-ball is good. And Florida feeling it now. Again, look at those active hands from the Florida Gators using the length and frustrating the Bucks. The give and go is thrown away.
Florida got lucky there because that's the right idea by Jones on the high-low. It was there. but Bowser could not handle the tough pass.
19 turnovers, Mark Wise. A lot of that credited to the Florida defense, the job that they have done. Gators again go to the bench here. Bring DeAndre Ballard back in. Bring Noah Locke back in. A lot of playing time. Again, this Florida team will have LaSalle here in the Exactech Arena, the Stephen J. O'Connell Center on Wednesday night. We'll be with you on SEC Network for that one. Here's Locke out of the corner. He hit from there earlier and hits again.
I keep saying, TJ, this team can really shoot. They have not through the first 2 games, but if they get it going, watch out.
Confidence is there tonight, as this one has become a runaway train. Jones fires underneath, and Charleston Southern able to get the easy layup.
That's back-to-back possessions. You can see Jones's value on the floor. 6'6" sophomore, the ability to find teammates.
Unfortunately, it's not nearly enough, as Florida has it on cruise control now in the late stages. Again, the extra pass, and Ballard hits that one. You're right, they are heating up from 3. They had only made 2 of them in the first half. Ballard buries their 5th made 3 of this second half for the homestanding Gators. Buskey for the Buccaneers, who are shell-shocked right now. Down big. They answer with a 3 with Keeling, and that's going to be a timeout for Charleston Southern. And that will take us to the timeout. We told you about those 3 balls. Here's another one from the Gators as they lead big here tonight in Gainesville. Tonight at 11:30 Eastern Time, 10:30 Central, the SEC Now team is set to recap all the hoop games and talk more about the latest football news around the conference. No one covers the SEC like we do. You can also see it streaming live on the ESPN app. And on SEC Now, they might be talking about this score. Mark Wise, Kentucky Wildcats. Yes, they're winning. No, it is not a big margin here late.
But this score illustrates, I think, what I was saying earlier about fans enjoying the journey that a team goes on. And whether you lost by 30 to Duke or you're playing Southern Illinois, every game kind of has its own identity as we head toward December. And taking a look at the preseason media poll, there's a look at where Florida is picked with Kentucky on top. I personally like Tennessee. They've got a lot of pieces back. I think the combination of Grant Williams, Admiral Schofield, what Bone and Turner give them out on the perimeter. They're a tough team to guard.
Well, the Volunteers took strides last year under Rick Barnes. Charleston Southern the steal, and hustling the other way is Buskey, and that shot was blocked. Do we have a foul? We do. Buskey was challenged at the rim. I think that was Allen that got him on the arm. We'll wait and see.
Good anticipation of bad pass by Stone. Buskey is way up there. I think that's
Stone that
hard
got
to
the foul.
tell, yeah.
Stone
From
in the
behind.
I think Stone in the back with the left hand.
I think Buskey lost this ball on the way up. See if he doesn't fumble it a little bit. He should have dunked it right away. He had room to do so.
It's something you never fumbled away. You would always flush
Always,
it down.
never.
And Buskey able to hit the free throw. Kid from Daphne, Alabama. Florida 5 of 11 in the second half beyond the arc after 2 of 12 in the opening half. Buskey free throw good. Florida still up comfortably. Back to those standings there as Jalen Hudson checks back into the game. This is what, 6-7 bid league potentially? The SEC?
I think it's at least 7. It could be 8 or 9 by the time it's all over. They got 8 last year, which is the most the league has ever had. I personally think, TJ, this is the deepest and best the league has ever been. It's not necessarily the best team at the top.
Right.
But in terms of a depth standpoint, in terms of a number of teams that will be in the tournament, I think it's outstanding.
A near walk by Lysander of Charleston Southern. Buccaneers trying to find some kind of offense here at the end of this one. Florida busted it wide open. Late first half, early second half with an 18-0 run. They've cruised since. Nemhard, a freshman, he will be the floor leader for Mike White's team. They work against the zone. Allen's been so good tonight. Hudson firing quickly with a hand in his face and makes the 6th three of the second half.
Maybe he needed his teammates to make a couple. See the ball go through the rim.
Florida has turned this one into an easy win tonight. Lysander can't get it to go. And the ball down to the Gators.
I'll tell you who's making a case for more playing time is Chase Johnson.
Number 1 in white, and there he is with a catch and a turn, and he can't get it to go, but nice hustle underneath, and you see the Gators up off the bench across from us, applauding that effort. Both ends, really, from Chase Johnson.
This is a little drag screen in transition that Johnson
I like
utilizes.
the hustle.
Yeah, he gets the rebound, but keep your eye on Johnson. Keep your eye on number 1. He's going to set the screen in transition, kind of a drag screen right there, and then goes for the screen and roll and gets fouled along the way.
Unable to get the first free throw to go down.
He's lanky, has a little bounce in his game.
Charleston Southern has put some reserves into the game. West Virginia kid. Unable to make both of those free throws.
Now that's a way to not get more minutes.
Florida had been outstanding, 14 of 16 at the line until those 2 misses. They lead comfortably tonight. They'll be back in this building Wednesday on SEC Network. Mark and I will have the call against the LaSalle Explorers out of the Atlantic 10. Buccaneers can't get it to go with Ty Jones.
Speaking of LaSalle
Yes,
and the
sir.
Explorers, one of the great names in college basketball, Pookie Powell, will be here. He was granted his 6th year of eligibility, so I'm anxious to see him play.
Love some of those names. Remember the famous name, maybe before some of the audience's time, back in the late 80s, early 90s, Lionel Simmons, the L Train as he was known for LaSalle. That 3-ball from Allen was an air ball, I believe. I don't know if he was trying to lob that ball to Johnson or not.
Hesitated on the jumper.
Keeling's 3 is good.
He didn't hesitate.
Heating up too late here in this one. He made an early bucket, then missed about 10 shots literally in a row as this lead widened out. Florida again has to be thrilled. Mike White has to be thrilled with the effort and the ease with which they have won. Gators will put Locke back in the basketball game here. Positive reinforcement for a lot of these players this evening. And I like what you said earlier. You're trying to figure out rotation of players, who goes well together defensively, those kind of things here early on in the season with a bunch of new guys.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Nemhard out front. Nice screen and roll. Stokes and they will not reward the flop there. I'm all for it. Ty Jones is not happy.
But I like the fact Stokes caught the ball in traffic, pivoted, and was actually going to throw the ball opposite. That's a great feel for the game.
Well, this is a young man. His brother, Jarnell Stokes, a Tennessee Volunteer. My hometown, Memphis, Tennessee. Had an ACL injury in high school, did Isaiah Stokes. Sidelined him a year ago. One of the few times tonight the Exactech Arena quieted for Stokes to make that free throw.
Pretty interesting when a player says you came to a school because of the strength and conditioning coach. And there's a look at Preston Green. And Isaiah Stokes said, I came here because of him. That's high praise.
All kinds of reasons why players want to come. You get in on them any way you can. Build the relationships.
Well, there's Duke Werner to his left. Those two guys have been pillars in this program for quite a while now.
Easy win tonight for the Florida Gators. And that has been a big trademark. The active hands, the takeaways. And a big advantage, and that man has to be happy as we go to our final media timeout here on SEC Network. Gators gymnastics season tickets on sale now for the 2019 season. Jenny Rowland's exciting squad will be in action at the Exactech Arena for 5 home meets, so be sure to lock in your tickets now. Packages start at just $20 for the season, with parking pass options available as well. For more information, visit FloridaGators.com. We've been talking a lot about young talent for the Florida Gators, Mark Wise.
Well, not only the Florida Gators, but across this Southeastern Conference. When you take a look at the top 100 by ESPN by conference, here's how it ranks and here's how it plays out. And I think it's one of the big reasons why there is such optimism, not only for this season, but for future seasons, as these coaches are starting to pay dividends along the recruiting trail.
Well, the building blocks for Florida include the likes of Nimhard and Noah Locke, and also Isaiah Stokes, who we've seen tonight. Florida defense continues to stymie Charleston Southern, as that's a foul out front. It's the story of this game, a 19 turnover night, most of those forced by Florida's active hands, steals, block shots, broke this game open. It was an 18-0 run late first half and into the second half. All right, I pose this to you as Charleston Southern shoots free throws. Mike White, profoundly disappointed. Fair, yes, in what happened on Tuesday?
Absolutely.
How thrilled is he tonight with the reversal?
With a huge asterisk. He will want to see it more than one game. But is as poor a starting point that Tuesday night was, this is almost like a new starting point. And so we talked about the process and the process of learning your players and the process of the players learning the rotation issues. And the fact that, and I said this Tuesday night, I didn't feel like Florida's players wrapped their arms around all these players coming in and out. Well, if you've got the depth, TJ, there's only one way to use depth if you're going to use it, and that's to play a lot of bodies. That means you got to come in and out. But that's different from the way the team was made up a year ago, where you kind of knew who the starting five was. You knew who the three guys coming off the bench were. This year's totally different. And it'll take a while for both the staff and the players to get comfortable in those rotations.
And coaches love this. You battle in practice a lot, too, for who's going to see that PT come the game.
Absolutely.
Akaru will bring this up. Sophomore. Again, young building blocks for Florida. Ballard sparked them in the first half. Nice up and under there. Talking about lost arts.
Yeah, he has a chance to. He's one of those guys that just thinks offensive. Making
Ballard.
a run at his career high. He's
Ballard.
got 12 now. Career high is 14.
Able to hit that shot. Buccaneers fire another three. That's Schuler. Can't get it to go, and Ballard there for the rebound.
I really like Schuler, though. He's a good-looking freshman.
Look at Locke with the catch, firing it up with a big 30-point lead. A rebound down to the Buccaneers and a tie-up underneath. Go
That shot
there.
by Locke is a little quick, not because it's in transition, not because he's not open, but he never got his feet set. He drifted.
Gators have checked Dante Bassett into the game. Sophomore, 6'9", big body. They've gotten a chance to play some different players late in the final 3 minutes here. And Florida will play LaSalle Wednesday night on SEC Network. We'll have the call for you, 7 Eastern time. That went out of bounds and last touch by the Gators. Well, again, a lot of teams trying to figure out new players, new lineups. Florida does have some veterans to lean back on, like Jalen Hudson, Kivaris Hayes, to go along with the new blood in the program. That battle for Atlantis, where they'll open with Oklahoma. An excellent test, that 3-day tournament coming up later in November.
That's life after Trae Young.
Keeling, jumper no. Well, you mentioned before the depth of the SEC without the phenomenal team. I think most fans would like it that way. Foul as Bassett went to the hoop. Of course, the Kentucky team in 2015 is the standard. They won everything all year long, including in the conference. So that's one team that everybody's gunning for. Right now, you got 4, maybe 5 teams or more that you could say could win the SEC.
I don't think there's any question about that.
Well, they're going to put a couple of walk-ons in the game at the moment, as Fava and Krause are popular with the Rowdy Reptiles behind us.
Now, I say this all the time. If I'm Max Krause or Andrew Fava and I'm in the game,
It's
there
going
is
up.
no such thing as a good assist. Get my shot up as
LL.
quick as possible.
LL locked and loaded. Free throw is no good, and the rebound down to Charleston Southern. We'll see if that's the case for the two young men wearing 14 and 22 that are getting some playing time in the final 2 minutes, as Florida still comfortably up by 30. Krause tried to take the charge. There's a foul on the putback. Krause is looking like, hey, you want to give me that charge? Young man out of Atlanta, a senior. Hey, and as a guy who throughout his career primarily played in this situation, I'm all about this in the last 2 minutes, brother.
I think the official just told Max Krause, hey, dude, don't take a charge in a game like this now. Andrew Fava, there's a look at him. Made a couple of threes last year, nicknamed Bean.
Little silence of the Lambs, eh?
Might be a little long for that shot, so he had to give it up there.
Let's see if they can work it around. Little fun on a Friday night at the end of a Gators emphatic win over their opponents from the Big South. They're trying to set him up. The jumper is no good from Keontae Johnson, and the ball out of bounds.
Charleston 7 basketball.
in this part of a weekend that will see the Gator football team play host to South Carolina tomorrow. It's gotten off to a good start for a possible 1-2 in home victories. Final minute and a half. Schuler, no. Loose ball. Gators still battling. It's a tie-up. The Rowdy Reptiles are loving it. The bench is loving it because that's Fava on the floor.
On the alternating possession.
See, that's good to see. That's the kind of body language Mike White wants to see from the guys who don't play.
30-point lead or not in the final 2 minutes.
Yeah, why not reward the young guys getting a chance to play?
Locke handles here for Florida. Impressive night for the Gators. Led by 16 at the half. An 18-0 run dating back to the first half. Broke it open, they never looked back. Does he want one of the walk-ons? Johnson says, I'll take this. Hello.
Johnson on the 41-inch vertical jump on display.
Get out of my way. Final minute. Fava the body foul. Let's take a look again. Much like Mark Wise, make up the mind and go.
Little two-handed schwackles. He didn't even extend. Didn't even get it
look
going.
Look how high his head is up at the rim. Hello.
At the line,
Mercy.
Coming right at you.
2 shots.
Like it. Keeling for Charleston Southern. And again, this is a solid program out of the Big South Conference with Radford, High Point, Winthrop in it. They have not been in the NCAA tournament under that man, Barkley Radeball.
Yeah, he told me today he really likes this group, likes coaching them, likes their competitiveness.
They will try to learn something from this. Look out, cross-court pass to Johnson. He's double-teamed right in front of us. They'll say that the Buccaneers are out of bounds in our final 43.
It is time for a walk-on to get a shot.
Is it bombs away? Let's see if they can get one of those guys open. Locke looking for Kraus, but he's covered up. Final 30. Kraus comes off the screen. Kraus is allowed to dribble. He finds Fava, and that's nowhere close, unfortunately. And a foul over the back, I think, or they'll call shot clock violation.
That's okay. That's the right way to think, big fella.
Fava
let it go. He had everybody on the bench up.
And the Rowdy Reptiles behind us shouting Fava fever in the final 25. Florida obviously improves to 1-1 with an exclamation point tonight. LaSalle on Wednesday night. It'll be a perfect 15-0 against the Big South all time. Bucket for Ty Jones. Will Fava get one last shot up, or are they going to hold it with 8 seconds left? The walk-on is being encouraged, but this one is done. It finishes 76-46. Florida, a home opening win.
I don't know that it was the cleanest game that Florida will play all season long, but it was a great response from Tuesday night.
The Gators impressive from about midway of the first half on, and opened up that lead to as much as 34 points in the second half. It ends at 76-46. You see Coach Mike White happy with his guys, Mark Wise?
Well, I think he's going to be impressed when he looks at the video and the film of how his team set the tone defensively first.
Well, the Gators led by Kayvon Allen's 14 tonight. Hudson with 10. Impressive night tonight. Florida wins big. We're back on the air coming on Wednesday. For Mark Wise, I'm TJ Reeves. That'll do it tonight from Gainesville. Our final score is 76-46. Florida erases the bad memories of Tuesday night in Tallahassee. A reminder to watch this entire game on replay as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks. Log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN. Says, I'll take this. This has been a presentation of ESPN.